we do it? How we do it, Jack? Yeah. Pixel. Perfect. Math. Come on. Previously on Kimba TV. But at least you know that I got in at 107.1. Vital says top is weak. Yeah, I mean, there is a case for a bullish retest after the single prints are grabbed, right? Something like this. That's, if you're a bull, that's your best fucking shot. If the bulls do this, I'll see you at all-time high. Unless, GAT shows up and says some shit like that too. If GAT says it's all-time high, then it's probably a swing fail and we're gonna go like this. Okay? So if GAT is bullish here, I wouldn't take it. Just wait for the pump, clean the high. Shama says it happened exactly like you said. It swept the box the second time and I was already sleeping with stop loss break even. That's okay. When I came back last night, I actually spent like an hour explaining why this is a good short. So if you missed that, make sure you rewind and get caught up. But there was a lot of people that closed their short completely here. And we spent like an hour explaining why this is where you would want to get back in. It's basically 7505 golden pocket, right? Some people were waiting for shorts up here. I said, no, that's actually bullish. So even if you got stopped out right here, I spent like an hour yesterday explaining why that's another good place to get back in if you missed the short or if you got stopped out. But that's another great example of math right there, my boy. We got everybody that missed their short here. Many of them got back in here. That's math. Easy. Alram says, was just waking up at 4 a.m. Saw a bit of stream. Yeah, I saw you last night. Let's go. Last night, Bugatti Juice. Let's go. Paranoid says, I got stopped out. That's okay. Make sure you rewind to get caught up. I have pixel perfect. But anyways, there's always another trade. And so let's see if this is going to come to fruition. So we talked about it. There might be a scalp long today, depending on the data. You guys ready? Iced Milk Tea says, how are you, Kimba? You know, just casually up close to 7 figures over 72 hours. So you know we juice and it's got to be testnet. You know, just casually up close to 7 figures in the last 3 days. It's got to be testnet. I got stopped out as well, but I re-entered. Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I came back and I was streaming last night. So if you go back and rewind, you're going to hear me talking about this, and a bunch of people that were here last night took that short. So yeah, even if you got stopped out, there's always another trade. And if you don't know how to like chase it properly or re-enter the right way, definitely watch last night's stream. Let's get the caffeine popped in. Cheers, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We got FOMC tomorrow. Make sure that you're caught up on everything, okay? You don't want to be the dickhead that keeps asking the same thing that we've talked about over and over and over. So make sure you rewind, make sure you caught up. All right, the math is the math, the juice is the juice. We've talked about everything. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Cytilic says, any chance to speed up the Twitch rewind process? No. Can't rewind the last night fully since there's no video yet. I mean, there's never going to be a video, Cytilics. Yeah, that's the whole point of just being there and watching. So for me to, for the late night stuff, you're going to have to rewind this. Yeah, somewhere around here. Yeah, look, this is me breaking it down. Right here. Yeah, so the nighttime stuff is never going to be converted into a highlight or anything like that. You just need to be there. Yeah, so keep an eye on that because I'll always pop in throughout the night and I'll just spit some shit. Yeah, but there you go. Always rewind the 24/7 one, Cytilics. All right, you guys good? You guys excited? Markets are opening in 2 minutes. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to see the boogammas, man? Let's get the boogammas. Let's get the vibes right. Tomorrow is FOMC. Let's start prepping. Let's start prepping, chat. Kimba, do you think it's going to go lower? Yes, but make sure you rewind and get caught up. Why would you even ask something like that, bro? All you have to do is watch yesterday's stream. Just remember, I can't really predict the future. It doesn't matter if I think if it's going to go lower or not. It doesn't mean that you can't prepare or you don't need to prepare for it to pump a little bit. So make sure that you are prepared if it goes up. Make sure you're prepared if it goes down. All right, big dog. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been watching, brother, but there's only 2 boxes in front of you. This one and this one. So I kind of broke down everything. There is the possibility that like this holds. I doubt it, but we'll find out in a little bit. We're going to have the RTH gap. That's going to be a dead ass giveaway. There's a gap fill, but not mine right here. You're going to open right here. So even if it does pump, you know exactly what your tolerance is. If you're a bear, you know what it would need to do if you're a bull. So go with the RTH gap play. It's going to open in 20 seconds. And if you don't know what the RTH gap play is, then we could obviously talk about it, but it's an opportunity for you to juice up. Put it on a list of things that you got to nerd out on. You guys ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Did you guys like that little alert on the top left? Quit playing with me. Unleash, what's going on? Shay's Anatomy says, I got stopped out last night, but I learned not to chase maybe. That's okay. Shay's, if you go back, I came back to stream last night, and I gave like an hour class on why that's a good short if you wanted to get back in. How many of you guys that got stopped out or round tripped on the first attempt never gonna miss the late night Kimba After Dark? Because you could have gotten in. I was here for like 2 hours. Literally explaining why you would want to short there and not any higher. So hands up if you were here during the late night stream. Onani says, you even talked about getting swept overnight when we took the short. Yes. Do you understand why though, Onani? Because it was a bad high. Yeah, and now that's a good high. I mean, TPO-wise, it's not, but yeah. And Joey Bitcoin says, love your stream so far. Daily watcher for sure. Oh, man, thank you, Joey. Shout outs to you, Joey. Mexico, Joey. Is that the Mexican flag? Or is that the Gucci flag? Why does the Gucci flag look like the Mexico flag? Italy, Italia, mamma mia, Joey, let's go. Italia. Como, man, I love Lake Como. Apmo says, is there any way to compound to a short position right now? Right now, probably not. Yeah, but last night you had an option to. JV says, I was not on stream, but I'm in short also. Let's go, JV. All right, JV. Okay. So, first things first, watch. I don't think the 886 is going to bounce, but you would always need to keep an eye on that. But the 1037 sweep is something that you'll want to keep an eye on, right, JV? Yeah, I think we have a good shot to get 98, but obviously one thing that could fuck you would be if it sweeps 1037 and starts to reclaim. Okay, so this fib, in my opinion, is actually pretty important. So I'm going to keep it even when it makes the lower low because I want to see the 1.25. All right, and do you remember what div you want to see if you're going to take that? Because that's no longer going to be a hidden div. All right. Blink John, you good? Master 381 says bearish retest of 0.5. No, that would be bullish. I would long the golden pocket if it went all the way back up to the 05 Master 381. Stop the music. Onani God says 886 to 618 rotate. Well, first off, did you know that somebody asked that 24 minutes ago? And I was very specific about, hey, if it does this, I'm actually going to go long. Yeah. So, Onani God, think about this. Somebody asked that question 24 minutes ago. And I answered by saying, I can't tell how much volume is at the 886 level because everybody switched to the September contract. So that should have been juice enough for you right there. So if you don't know what it means to switch to a future contract, right? Instead of playing June, everybody is betting in for September, right? So if you don't know what that means, then that's a juicy piece of information that you should definitely Google. Alrighty. But yeah, I already kind of explained to you that I can't tell what the volume is like at 886. And look at this. So knowing that, it should kind of help you figure out how you would want to play an 886-618 rotation. Yeah, I mean, did you get to listen to what I was talking about yesterday during the Kimba After Dark? Yeah, it's basically the inverse of that. So you should be able to have a level where you can say, hey, above here, bullish, below here, bearish. And try to think about structure change. Alrighty. So, yeah, 886 to 618 would be borderline bullish. So you have to be careful about how you're going to interpret the data and the open interest once it gets above. So that's like kind of stubbornly, basically. So this is what we drew yesterday. This is cutting it really close, you know, because you're opening the door for this, because you're starting to change structure now, and you're going to keep all of this. So you're bordering on bullishness at that point. Don't be so stuck in trying to short that you miss the data that's right in front of you, okay? So this is, you know, it's just a pop quiz, man. Like you clearly can see that it's resistance, 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 support. So you just need to understand what kind of context you need it in. I don't, why are you asking me about 102? I think you're asking me if one, so the only way that you would ask me about 102.6 is if you're talking about an SFP, correct? Yeah, that's possible. So, yeah, that's possible. I think that's lower probability, but I guess that's possible, sure. And grab the single print, sure. So this is the context you're looking at. So what you're talking about is something like this, right? Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I mean, you would kind of be like, oh man. It would seem unfinished, so I think it would be more of a scalp long, but yeah. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm going to try to be here all the way through market close, and I'll be here early tomorrow and all day tomorrow. So whatever the fuck happens, we should be able to see it together. Yeah. Did that help, Soul Guru? You were asking about a swing fail down there? Sure. Anything is possible. What would be your confluence S&P level? Probably here. Something like that. Point of control. Dimitri says, after making lower low, where would you take another short? I wouldn't. Richie says, where is the short TP, Kimba? You have it at the blue box? No. I wanted... Richie, why are you not watching the highlights, man? Chat, tell Richie where I'm going to TP this bitch. I literally said, Richie, when I got filled, man, wouldn't it be amazing if I took this 108 short all the way down to... So you could have had I'll tell you what the answer is, brother. I would like it to go, I want it to break 100, okay? And then anywhere between 98 to like, I don't know, 95, right? But we have levels before that. We've got the US-Mexico border, okay? We might have a swing fail right here. We've got the fucking Los Zetas cartel camp, okay? And who knows if we're gonna have to go through the Sinaloa cartel, you know, death squad camp. Okay? And then we can get to Tijuana. Okay? But you could have known that shit 18 hours ago. XF14 says, so you didn't get stopped out last night? Oh my God, what is going on, chat? How the fuck would I get stopped out? What the fuck is going on, man? Am I just wasting my time? How? Kimba, you're too good. It's got to be testnet. You're too good. How are you so fucking bad? You're testnet. You're testnet. You're testnet. How the fuck are you so bad? I always have a plan, especially if it's a bad high. I told you what would most likely happen and what I did. Not only that, but I came back and I streamed during the night. And not only did I explain how I got back in and basically exactly what I said I would do was a sweep, but I even talked to people that wanted to chase the short here and explained why you would want to short there instead of any higher. I've been with you guys every step of the way. There's no way. Come on, man. Quit playing with me, Mario. Quit playing with me, Mario. Quit playing with me, chat. They playing with me. Yeah, but everything is done live, XF14. So just make sure that you're watching, okay? All right, we're doing this shit live, man. There's no way. I'm explaining this shit so far in advance. There's just no way. DT Swing says, Kimba, when did you draw that blue box? Chat, when did I draw that box? Last Thursday? Last week? Yeah, I mean, I'm in a pixel perfect long, but I think I'm gonna get stopped out, and I still have the short open, so. But I've been narrating it the whole day. So do you see the CVD div? I drew it earlier for everybody to be able to see, right? So that's kind of like your last resort, right? Yeah, so I'm in at pixel perfect bottom. I'm gonna assume I get stopped out fully though. Yeah, hidden CVD, bull div, and then a bunch of bottom shorts. Everything that we talked about. So the only thing that we didn't get was like a swing fail. But we have bottom shorts, right? And hidden CVD, bull div, so. Yeah. I can't lose. Pretty cool, right? We got pixel perfect top short live, and we pretty much got filled live right there. Yeah, but I think I'll get round tripped on the long. I'll kick it here until market close. So in 42 minutes, we have power hour. Do you know what that means? Okay. And then after the markets close, okay, I'm going to dip out. I'm going to do some, real life shit. And then I'll come back later when Houston and Cage are wrapped. Okay? But if I don't come back, Okay, do you feel like you have all of the levels to the downside at least until tomorrow? What about the levels to the upside? I cannot predict. Your job, our job is not to predict if it's going to bounce or reject. It's to be prepared. Okay, so if you get a swing fail pattern at 102 like this, do you know what data would make you feel comfortable about taking the long? Okay, what about when it breaks 100? What data are you going to start looking at? These are all the levels for CME. All right, so all of these levels have some sort of significance, and you can look at CVD as some of these levels. You can look at open interest as some of these levels. You're gonna want S&P to help you on some of these levels. Alrighty. So I just want you to be prepared, brother. Do you want to take a screenshot of all this? And if it goes up, what would be something that would make you think about shorting the move? If it goes down, what would be something that would make you think about longing? Me personally, brother, I like to long when all the underwater longs get stopped out. So if whether it's this or this or this, I would like the $43 million in underwater, $44 million in underwater longs to get stopped out first. Okay, I would love CVD divergence, even though I don't think you're going to get one for a while. And last but not least, I would want S&P to be helping me out if I'm going to take a long. Do you remember in the morning, like 5 hours ago, we were already talking about something like this? If this actually holds and it gets back above here, or actually even above the point of control, then I don't think the short is coming today. Or like, I don't think the nuke is going to happen today. Maybe it might be tomorrow. For the nuke to happen, or the continued bearish movement down, I need S&P to lose this level. That's been the plan since 4.5 hours ago. Okay? So do you understand that we have FOMC tomorrow? So my biggest level of confluence, my biggest piece of data is going to be S&P. If S&P starts pumping, Bitcoin will go. If S&P starts dumping, Bitcoin will nuke. So, all right, I'm taking it level by level. I have already prioritized what data I'm going to be looking at. So, you with me? I just want you to feel like, okay, this is a level that I know Kimba was looking for. I can see CVD bullish divergence hidden. I don't have open interest, and I don't have S&P helping me. Based off of that and based off of what I planned while he was streaming, I'm going to do this. So I just want you to be ready to go, Strix. And it's going to be a difficult one down there. You need to turn down your leverage. Everybody's leverage should be single digits. Okay? You don't want to use all of your trading capital, so divvy it up into the way that would be responsible for you, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever. So you know how much money you're working with, you know what leverage it is. And then the rest of it is, do you have levels identified? And what's the edge that would make you go, okay, let me try to take a long, or let me try to take a short? So do you have levels ready to go? TTV strict? That's all I want to make sure that you're good to go on. Do you have levels to the downside and levels to the upside? So, all right. And what I think would, and I don't know if you've been here for it, brother, but be really careful. I think the easiest way to long this bitch, if you really want to, I mean, I don't think you should put blind limit, but basically expect to long everything from 98 to 91 or 90. You know, so don't try to get into like a crazy all-in long at 96 or 98 and then get stopped out and wrecked when it goes to 91. Nobody knows how low this is going to go, and it's going to keep going until all the retail longers are stopped out and everybody starts to get bearish. So how low would it need to go for you to be like, oh my God, this is fucked? That's how low it's going to go, and then it's going to bounce on your ass. How we doing? 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 I'm doing GMAT, and half of them are actually trading psychology. That's awesome. Leo D says unbelievable. Let's go. Camilo says, Kimba, did you close your trade? No, I still have the short completely open. And instead of TPing, what do you think I did, Camilo? Because look, I've got two choices, right? I can either shave or TP, or what's the other option that I have? So I have a pixel perfect short. To be honest with you, I can't believe it myself. Well, I can because I knew it was going to swing and I was going to get it. And I pretty much have, I'm like $45 off of the bottom on the long. If you want to go back and rewind, I was already drawing this hidden div for you guys. So that's the pivot point, right? So higher low, lower low. Yeah. So I can't stress it enough. There's 3 pieces of edge, okay, that I usually need. Okay. 4 if everything goes perfect. Open interest, structure, divs, and S&P. So div, did I get bottom shorts? Yes. Did I get structure? I don't know. That looks like a swing fail to me, or a failed auction. So that's kind of iffy. And last but not least, S&P. I still think I'm going to get round tripped on the long just because I don't see strength in S&P. So the longer that it hangs out at a range low, you know that we have a probability to break it, right? All right. And then if you want to do this, we can, but hopefully everybody was here for Monday morning. So what is this? Where could it possibly go to? Where am I? If I wanted to shave a little bit on the long, where would it be? Are we really doing anything that crazy, ladies and gentlemen? If it really was bullish, what would it be able to do? Ladies and gentlemen, it's power hour. You guys ready? But Lions, I feel like I held everybody's hand through this whole thing, whether it's pixel perfect top short, pixel perfect bottom long. The rest was up to you. Were you really bullish or were you really bearish? But these were preset, and the data is literally in front of your face. What do you guys think about divergences? What do you think about open interest? What do you think about CME? What do you think about S&P? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Bugatti money! Let's go! All right, 56 minutes left. Let's go. Mastermind Gaming says BTC 98K. I feel like that's just such an oversimplification. Is 100K going to get lost? Most likely. Do you understand the concept that if too many people are wanting 98, then it's actually going to nuke it or maybe front run it? All right. We've been talking about 98K, 92, 94, 96, really the concept of 100K being lost for a very, very, very long time. If you really want to know, I don't think you need to, understand or hear what I have to say, but if you really care, we've been talking about it for a while now. So it's all in the YouTube highlights. Okay. I don't know. We don't predict the future. So it's not about saying, hey, we're going to long here or we're going to short here or this and that. we identify levels of interest, and notice that it's plural. So could it be 98? Sure. Could it be 96? Sure. Could it be 94? Sure. Could it be 92? 91? Sure. Okay, that's not really, we're never going to randomly long a level anyways. We're going to look for bullish divs. We're going to look for complementing open interest. Obviously, tomorrow is FOMC. S&P is going to have a lot to do with it, right? An S&P structure. You know, so, yeah, I've been sitting here all fucking day, all fucking week, all fucking month, all fucking year, every day, kind of breaking it down. So yes, it does look like we're going to see a break of 100K, but we also have been here long enough to understand 8A6618 rotation. So there's still 25 minutes on the 30-minute candle close and the hourly, plus we're going to be going into McCully. So there is a chance that 7.5 here is going to hold. It's actually going to rotate and try to make a gap all the way at the Bugatti dealership for FOMC tomorrow. So it would be a lot easier if it does just break the 886 and make lower lows, right? And it's probably going to make a lower low and have a very similar pullback to do a bearish retest at 886 anyways. That might be the McCully move where everybody is juicing, you know, real quick, but then half of the time you're tripping a little bit because it does you know, it goes to like 1016 and then it pops all the way back up to 1036 for the 886 bearish retest. And you're like, fuck, McCully. I got McCullied. So, you know, just stay safe. If when in doubt, zoom out, treat the 30-minute, 1-hour candles like 5-minute. I think it'll make sense. Do you ever use moving average? Sure. Higher time frame. When do you anticipate a full rotation to the below value area? What do you mean, Lurson? So like a full rotate? That's when the daily or the settlement is outside of value. And so when it goes back in value, you usually would interpret it as a rotation. So if this is previous day value area high, previous day value area low, this is the new daily open, okay? And it does something like this, then yeah, you're going to start to rotate to the value. Same thing, daily open, it does this, you're going to try to rotate to this side. So you should have a volume profile for each day and week. I think so. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever need that, I already have it for you. So it's going to show up as previous day value area high right there. Okay. PD value area high, and then PD value area low. So previous day value area low, and then daily open. And I have that for all different exchanges on my YouTube if you ever need it. And then when I'm away and it's on Exo, that's, you know, this is also showing on the Twitch stream when I'm gone as well. So there is value in being here and watching, even if I'm not here. I'm still trying to show you guys like all the Gucci. So Gemini says, what time tonight approximately? I'll be back in about 3-4 hours. But if that's hella late for you, go to bed. If I was in Europe right now, you know what I would do? I would go to sleep right now, pop a melatonin, and I would try to wake up as early as I could. That's what I would try to do. You know, not sleep advice, not sleeping advice. But if I was an international lion, I would I would try to be up like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock New York time. And just have, 4 or 5 hours of metabolized caffeine going through my blood ready to go for market open. You're going to be hyped the fuck up, locked in. You have all that time to kind of get that drowsiness out of your way, plan, prepare. Plus, you get to see CME overnight. Person says, we are about to enter the value of old all-time high with a failed auction on daily chart. I'm just looking at the value area low of that approximately 92.93. I love it. I'm right there with you, Lurson. The only thing, again, especially on a day like tomorrow, Lurson, is pay attention to traditional market confluence and always assume that It's going to front run you, or it's going to go lower than what you're anticipating, Lurson. If you can see that, everybody sees it. And remember things like it's not going to pump until all the retail longers are stopped out. So you're going to have a plan B, plan C, plan D. Seeing the 92, 93, that's like step one. Okay, now I want you to think about what if it front runs it? What if way too many people, aka open interest spikes when it does it? What are you going to do if it's a bad low? What if it's so quick that you don't even have a chance to react? I would assume that you're going to allow yourself to chase it all the way to 94, right? As long as you have kind of those scenarios, I think you're good, my guy. Love you guys, Lions. I'll be back in about 3-4 hours. Hold it down for me. Macaulay is in 3 minutes, okay? Holy fuck. Stay safe, stay safe. Holy shit. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. I'll see you guys in about 3-4 hours. Until then, shout outs to Houston and Cage. Let's go. He reaving. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Give it up for Houston and Cage. Peace, everybody.